I'm Adam Gragg. I'm a family therapist and coach, and this is Skills for Successful Relationships, Victory Over Anxiety, Fear, and Worry in All Your Daily Interactions. When it comes to having successful relationships, we got to get a grasp on our fear and our worry and our anxiety. It's a big, big part of it. What can you do to overcome it? Well, one thing is grasp some key relational truths. One thing is that relationships suffer because of this negativity and this anxiety. Hey, it's all fear. It's fear. And we don't always see it as fear, but it really is. And this fear keeps us from connecting, problem solving, enjoying the interactions. Relationship number 2 is that we're negative because we think it actually helps us. So our brains are tricking us into thinking, hey, let's find out what could go wrong. Let's identify the problems in advance, and that's going to actually keep us safe. Our brains don't rest. We become guarded. This makes us more likely to get rejected and to get hurt. We think it's going to keep us from getting hurt. Relationship truth number 3 is we're made for and desire connection. Yet this is exactly what triggers our fear. This fear of connection, what can happen if we actually connect. Our brains, they thrive on oxygen, glucose, and healthy relationships, on love, on connection. I want to teach you 3 skills right now that will help you overcome this fear. This is a brief video, one you can go back to again and again, that has some basic, great information, excellent stuff that I've gathered over 20 years working with families and working with people. Skill number 1, engage people. Simple, engage. Be the most positive person in the room if you can. Be the one who asks questions, who's curious. Curiosity, if it's genuine, will transform people. Ask open-ended questions. Great questions usually start with a what or a how. What do you want? What's getting in your way? How did you handle that situation? How was your weekend? It gives people an opportunity to engage and answer questions. When clients come in my office, I usually, during the first session, sometimes the second session, I give them this bookmark. It says speaker on one side, it says listener on the other side. This is what positive people do when they communicate. They make eye contact, they engage, and they listen. Good listening requires paraphrasing what you actually heard the other person say. So if I understand you correctly, you're saying that you love the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't know what you're saying, but they are going to express an emotion. You're going to identify the emotion as the listener. You're going to repeat it back and paraphrase in a very natural way. A good speaker is going to express emotion. What do they feel? Are they excited? Are they happy? Are they joyful? And they're going to express what they need, and the listener is going to pick up on that. You can only be in one of those roles when you're communicating. You can either be the listener or you can be the speaker. The person who answers before listening, they're not really listening at all. They're just formulating their opinion. Smile, stand up straight, keep your head high, be confident. Good, powerful engagement skills. Anxiety feeds off of avoidance. It feeds off of the worst outcome. By using this one skill to engage, you're facing your fears, you're facing people, you're doing something, you're taking action. Skill number 2, be yourself. Be yourself. It's hard, I know, because if you are yourself, people can reject you. But one of the problems is that people don't know themselves. You got to know yourself. Who am I? What are my passions? What are my interests? What do I love? Figure that out. Sometimes people don't take the time to self-reflect. That'll help you because you can be yourself. What are my personality traits? Am I more introverted? Am I more extroverted? Am I naturally more one-on-one, or am I naturally more group-oriented? And then you learn to cherish those traits that you have and enjoy them. What are the life experiences that have shaped me and how I interact with people? And knowing that is important. You can be yourself. Another tool I give clients is this emotions bookmark, because you got to learn how to express yourself once you know yourself. On one side, it has positive emotions. On one side, it has negative emotions. Good emotional communication is where you can identify how you feel and then express it, both the good and the bad. So you can look on a bookmark like this and say, what are 2 feelings that I felt over the last couple days? One positive, one negative. A good tool I call XYZ. X is the emotion, so I feel X because that's the Y, and Z is I need. So I feel happy because the Chiefs won, and I need more victories. Or I feel scared because there's a pit bull that's growling at me and I need to run or get out of the way. It gives you information about yourself when you can identify your emotions. There's supposedly over 14,000 human emotions. Think about emotional intelligence as knowing how you feel, how others feel, how to express it, and how to experience a wide range variety of emotions. Emotions are a compass. Guy has a compass in his backpack. They give you direction in your life. So the second tool is to be yourself. You got to know yourself, express yourself, and then you got to trust yourself. Trust how you feel. Trust how you are reacting. Trust yourself to handle. You can do it. Trust yourself to handle relationships, to handle engagement. Third skill, most important skill, I'd say out of all three actually, although they're all very, very, very important, is to change your perspective. You have the power to rise above and change your perspective. We have neural pathways that are thinking grooves and patterns in our brain. They're either positive or negative or neutral. And we know that 90% of our thinking patterns are going to be the same today as they were yesterday unless we rise above and do something about them. And this is a battle because we can have deep-seated negative ways of viewing the world that we think are keeping us safe that are very hard to break, but you can with exercise and engagement. Engage the battle. With brain scans and imaging, we can see these patterns actually changing. What you focus on the most, you will amplify. You feel the way that you think, and then you act based on how you feel. And then you get results based on how you act. This is a pattern we can actually change. Here's what I like to do with clients. I teach them. First session, generally, the daily 5 and 5. What are 5 things that happened in your day yesterday that were positive in your life? And what are 5 things that you're going to be doing later in the day today that you're excited about? And actually write that down every morning. Another skill I teach people is to focus on what they can influence. The things that stress us out relationally are often things that are out of our control. If we can write down that, hey, we can't control their behavior and their actions and their perspective, but we can influence our own actions and our own perspective. And then be truth-oriented. Find out a different perspective on whatever it is that's bothering you. So I can be a perfectionist, and I collect 7-Up bottles that help me to have a healthier perspective on this tendency to want to do everything perfectly, or else I won't do it at all, so I end up procrastinating. And so this perspective, this new perspective is, hey, if it's a 7 on a scale of 1 to 10, it's good enough. Hey, did I do my best? Okay, I'm going to let go and I'm going to trust. That's rising above my thoughts, identifying and getting space with what they are, because they can be really unhealthy and we got to get some space from them. That's what I do when I go on walks and just take some time to reflect, try to get space from these negative thoughts, and then look for a healthier perspective that I can try on. But it has to be true. We have to actually believe it, and then we try it on and we start replacing that perspective. Here's my business card. Give this to clients too. On the back side, it has this coffee illustration, and I'm going to explain that to you. So people come in and they want a specific result from counseling, from coaching, at the workshops I do. And that's represented by the coffee. That's the outcome, the goal. But they have to have a good cup of coffee, you got to have good beans, fresh beans. So beans represent, in this model, having a healthy perspective, a very positive self-concept, which is, your belief and trust in yourself, emotional health, and then relational health. And then to get a good cup of coffee, you need a good filter. And so you filter out the grounds, and that, in this metaphor, it represents having a good vision for your life and identifying where do you want to be in 10 years. A lot of people don't take the time to step back and try to figure out what that is. Balance, living with balance, not investing in every part of your life. Investing in all areas of your life and not just 1 or 2 areas. So you live with some balance, so you have fun, not just work. Core needs, which are things that energize you daily, that you have to exercise, that you have to get met. And then core values and life purpose. Everybody has a purpose, a unique purpose. We function on meaning as humans, on purpose. Our core values we often don't articulate, but I can go over those in a future blog post or videos, or if you ever purchase Tune Up for Life, my online coaching course, you've seen me talk about core values. Then the coffee is your goals. So this is the actual outcome, and we can have a bad set of goals because we're not filtering them through our values and our vision. And then our habits reinforce our goals and our mission, which is what we do now with our energy today. Write something down that you got out of this training right now, please. You can either try or you can train. If it's really a training, you're going to put in some discipline to practice what you've learned. It may be a couple things today. You may want to go over this again. It's only 10 minutes long. Train versus try. Thanks for tuning in. Love to have you at a workshop or do some coaching with you for your company or do some training. Adam Gragg with Decide Your Legacy. Talk to you next time. Bye-bye.